Righto. Tim Tszyu, obviously some massive news this week over in Las Vegas. I'm going to open the floor to, I might kick it off with Abraham Gonzalez. So, Abraham, do you want to kick things off for us?
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, everyone. How you doing, Tim Zoo?
Good, thanks.
All right, you look good. You look like you're in good spirits.
Always.
Uh, um, so I wanted to address a tweet that Turki Alalshikh has sent out in regarding. He said there's something unclear with the communications from his team, referring to your team, and his team. So I believe we'll reconsider his situation in regards to future fights. Do you know anything that he's talking about there, or can you clear that up from your end?
From my end, I can't really comment. My team's in town this week, so hopefully, maybe there's been some miscommunication from both sides, but um, hopefully, they can sit down and discuss about what's to plan in the future.
Okay. And then man, it's Charlo not wanting him to fight. It's Lubin not wanting to fight. Like what's up with all these guys not wanting to fight you? I mean, it's getting a little bit ridiculous in the junior middleweight division. Well, what are your thoughts on all these pullouts?
Yeah, I don't blame them actually. No, like um, I don't know, man. Like honestly, there's some sort of excuse. I hope Bakhram starts doesn't start making stuff up as well. Like I got some bad feeling that he's gonna come in with an injury warning as well. So it is what it is. I'm sort of used to it now.
And if it's up to you, when would you like to get that fight done by as far as in Australia and the event itself? When would you want to have it by?
ASAP, man. The sooner the better. In all honesty, I still want to go back to back. So if I can get another two fights in this year, then we're on the right track to a good start to 25.
All right. And then last one for me, is the Virgil Ortiz fight still something that you want in the immediate future? Or will it be preferably the winner of Fundura and Spence if they indeed fight later on this year?
Yeah, look, both fights are appetizing, Like me and Virgil would be one hell of a cracking fight, but at the same time, an Errol Spence and a Fundora fight is very exciting as well. So I'm open to both. Happy, happy for both.
All right. Well, thank you, Tim. I wish you the best of luck and hopefully things work out with this next fight.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Brendan Bradford.
Hey Tim, how you going?
Good, thanks.
Good. Yeah, Bakhram, you say you hope he does step into the ropes, but what have you made of his career to date, the guys he's beat, and how do you feel you stack up to the guys he's fought so far?
Um, he's the IBF champ. You can't disrespect the guy. He's a world champion for a reason. So, um, again, but I don't think he's ever fought anyone like Tim Tszyu. So that's another story on itself.
Have you fought anyone like him?
In with his style, maybe not. Probably not. No, he brings something different, I guess.
Do you see some similarities between you? Like, he's obviously very
Old
different.
school,
Yeah,
old school Russians. Probably the same boxing school.
yeah, similar sort of mentality.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
What does it mean to you to become a two-time world champion to win a belt back?
I just want to be the shot caller. I want to dictate and roll the dice the way I want to roll the dice. So becoming a world champ, that's it. That's the only thing. Uh, that's what appetizes me.
So if you win the belt and you can call some of the shots, like ideally, what's next after if you beat Bakhram?
Just the top fights, man. I'm just here to make the top fights possible.
Is that a rematch, a revenge mission against Fundora? Is that high on the
Yeah,
list?
that'd be in the cards as well, for sure. But yeah, just uh just the biggest possible fights out there, you know. The Errol Spencers, the Terence Crawfords, the Virgil Ortizes, the Charlos, even move up to 160, who knows?
And obviously we don't have a location for the fight yet, but you know, you've made your Vegas debut. There was talk of, you know, an Australian homecoming in September. What would you rather? Where would you rather fight?
Look, Australia's great. I love fighting in Australia. It sort of scares your opponents. They get rattled when they come over to Australia. So I guess I get that advantage here. But you know, I'm willing to fight anywhere. You know, I'm living my dream. And I'm enjoying it. So wherever the fight is, I'll be happy.
Sorry, just finally, you know, fighting in Vegas that first time, like were there any lessons or did you just feel at home on the big stage, you know, fighting at T-Mobile Arena?
Lessons, you know, it's just looking back, just to be calm in situations where you're not supposed to be calm. That's the biggest lesson I learned, you know, is sometimes let my emotions and I let the fight slip away. Uh, you know, some situations aren't ideal, but you just got to be able to, you know, sometimes just learn how to take a deep breath and get back to the drawing board.
Nice. Cheers, Tim.
Tim, wondering if you watched the Crawford fight on the weekend. I saw you score at 8-4. Just wondering if you could sort of break that fight down for us.
Yeah, I thought uh both boys were very tentative. I think Crawford felt the difference between 154 and 147, so he wasn't risking it as much. But it was a game of chess, and it was quite, I'd say, entertaining as a as someone that understands boxing because it was a game fought over inches.
Do you sort of think that Crawford might have hesitations of going up further? I know he's talked about potential Canelo fight. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, there are weight divisions for a reason, you know. Like the more you go up, the harder they hit, the stronger they are. You know, there's a reason why gloves change from 8 ounce to 10 ounce, from 147 to 154, and then it goes onwards. Uh, all of that stuff plays a part, of course. Terence is a very, very skillful fighter, but again, weight divisions matter.
Obviously back sparring now. How's the cut holding up in training?
Yeah, there's nothing, man. It's all good. It's all healed.
And doing some training at the UFC as well. How's that
Yeah,
going?
yeah, it's going good. Getting looked after there, and then it's a great facility. And again, seeing the results and what I'm not good at, and just working towards being the best version of myself.
Looking back on your last fight, any changes you'll make for this fight? Changes in prep? Anything different?
Uh, you know, boxing's quite I've always been I'd say old school in certain ways, and I'll still remain in that aspect, but I'll do things much smarter and be able to not red line all the time and be come into the fight ready to go and fresh.
Cool. Thanks, bro.
Jabin.
Hey, g'day, Tim. We did see on Instagram not too long ago that your old mate Charlo is still flapping around after 2 years of hearing his name annoy us. Is he, do you think, ready to go straight into a belt? Do you think he deserves a belt shot straight away, or do you think he has to get himself back into the division first?
Nah, he's former undisputed world champion, you know, for sure. If he was to come back, for sure, I'd say he deserves a world title shot straight away.
And would that be shall you beat your next
But I
opponent?
don't think he's coming back, man. I think it's a bluff. that's just my opinion.
There might have been some smoke around Lubin and him, given the fact he didn't fight you and then tried to welcome him back to the division on Twitter. Do you see that as a potential one for him, maybe?
Who?
Lubin and Charlo.
I don't know. But they're both the pullouts.
And speaking of a couple of that aren't and that are great fighters, Virgil and Boachuk coming up very, very soon. How do you see that one coming up? Are you excited to get your eyes on it?
Yeah, it should be good. Should be good. I'm in Vegas, so it's on this weekend, so I might actually make my way down there.
Who wins it?
I haven't watched much of Bokhachuk, so can't really comment on it.
Well, you're obviously supposed to be on that date as well, or very close to, with obviously Virgil. Is it obviously it's worked out probably for the better now. You're getting a crack at a belt, but he'd be someone that you'd love to circle back to at some time, no doubt.
Yeah, for sure. Like we're both young, and there's plenty of time to get that fight later on down the track anyway.
And with styles make fights, I'm assuming that is one hell of a fight.
It's a cracker. That's a cracker.
Thanks, Timmy. All the best, brother.
Thanks, bro.
Nick Walshaw.
Hey, Tim, mate, can I just ask what your message to Erickson Lubin would be, given there's been this back and forth between you and him for some time, and his pulling out has obviously now set you up for a far bigger fight. You've gone from, you asked him to have an eliminator, he said no, and you've got a world title fight instead. What would your message to Lubin be, mate?
That is my message, that I'm getting the world title fight. I can become a two-time champ, something that he hasn't done.
Why do you think that he has continually now 2-3 times sort of been in talks and it's never happened? What do you think is happening on his end that fight, has never happened?
Honestly, man, if only I understood. I don't know, man. Every time there's something, this time what says something like that, he had a sore hand. It's hard, man. It's hard to make fights these days.
Do you think then you'll be able to? I mean, you talk about wanting to fight again in December, but given how hard fights now are for you to put together, do you think that'll be possible, or do you think then once you have the belt again, things change?
Again, that's what it is. When you get the belt, you're the shot caller, and instead of chasing, people come running to you. So that's the position I want to be at.
How important, I guess, was that last fight for you, and how do you feel your stocks have remained, given that you're in that position where you have been granted a title fight, coming off a loss, albeit with a pretty big asterisk over it?
Yeah, well, like people aren't even talking about Fundora. That's the thing, like they're still talking about me in the division fighting the very best, and I think my style to the fight fans is appetizing. So people want to see some clashes with that type of style.
Do you think the way you fought in that fight and everything that happened with the blood and that actually got you, more respect, more fans, more attention than maybe a grinding win may have?
Yeah, I'd say so. To go through what I had to go through, the adversity, and to lose on a split decision by 1 point. It's all right. If only it was a victory, man. That's what I'm spewing about.
Do you change? Have you sort of flown in sparring partners once the announcement was made on who you're fighting for the world title, or have you already had people in? Like, how has that sort of played out since the announcement was made?
No, yeah. We're still sparring Vegas locals here.
Okay. And finally, mate, the other big question is Chef Omar back in training, mate? Is he any chance? I know he's been talking about a heavyweight fight. What chance are we of seeing Chef Omar before Christmas?
At the moment, I'm on a busy schedule, man, so he doesn't have any time.
That's a shame.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I know. I was looking forward to it as well.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks.
Tom, did you want to ask a question, or are you all good?
Yeah, Tim, how are you, mate? Just
Good.
back to a couple. You said you had a bad feeling about this fight as well in terms of actually getting over the line. Is anything giving you that impression, or have you just been burned before?
I just don't. With my experience, what I've had to deal with pullouts, I hope that I'm just hoping I'm just fucking saying the worst.
And just on the tweet that went out from Turki Alalshikh, uh, so in your mind, are you keen to work with him in the future? Or, like, would it be a disaster if that kind of door was closed in your mind?
No, I'd love to work with him, because I like what he's about. He's all about making the big fights happen, and I'm all for that. Um, but I've got a team, I've got a professional team with me, and everything is organized through that.
All right, thanks, mate.
I'll just throw it back to Brendan for another follow-up.
Hey, Tim, I know you're obviously deep in training camp over there, but got a couple of Aussie boxers at the Olympics, Caitlin Parker and Charlie Senior in the semi-finals coming up over the next couple of days. Just wondering if you'd seen any of them, if you know them at all, and if you got a message for them.
Well, look, I wish all the boys and girls are the very best in the Olympics, but yeah, those two have done well. I haven't been able to watch anything. I don't know. The American TV don't show anything, so I haven't been able to watch anything. But I do remember Caitlin Parker from the amateur days, back when I was still fighting as well, when I was a kid. So yeah, look, crazy achievement, like last Olympics it was Harry Garth that got the first medal, and now we've got two athletes that are going for medals. It's good that our boxing the roots of boxing is improving, and it all starts with the local shows and all that stuff. So congrats to the guys, and congrats to the whole team for the whole Olympic team.
Awesome. Cheers, Tim.
Last opportunity, guys. Anyone else?
Yeah, I just
Just
got one more, Tim. Your mental strength. You seem very secure in yourself these days. What have you done over the last couple of years to sort of, develop that aspect of your game?
Um, just a bulletproof mind, man. And I've been, again, experience, growing up, letting go of stuff, letting go of fears, and just living in the present. And yeah, working with coaches and different people to level up. So I put it all to that.
Adrian Brzezinko.
Tim, just wanted to ask you about the dynamics of this fight. Like, you fought Australians and Americans and Mexicans, you fight whoever, but what about actually taking on a Russian, just given your background? It's
Yeah,
different, isn't it? How's this sort of cool and a different experience for you?
yeah. Well, I don't think my dad's too happy, but I think it's a great opportunity for myself. I was brought up in a Russian household. As soon as we cross over the doors of my grandparents' house, it goes from Australia to Russia. So the Soviet Union. So again, the Russian boxing school is a big part of my upbringing. So I'm very keen to fight a fellow Russian, and it'll be an interesting fight.
What will the build-up be like, given that I understand Bakhram doesn't speak a lot of English? Would there be a bit of to and fro in the mother tongue this time around?
Yeah, of course, of course. I haven't practiced much, but I'll definitely bring out my Russian.
And when you talk about the Russian boxing school and what it is, can you sort of explain that? What's the mentality behind that, and how's it different to, say, a traditional sort of boxing upbringing, if you like?
No, I think just the Russian boxing schools, the style is different. Like they taught him a certain way, a different conventional way. It's very awkward, and there's a saying, you don't want to be fighting Soviet fighters because you don't know what to expect. They come out with all these different crazy last names, and again, you don't know what to expect. They're deadly, and their mind is bulletproof. So that's the opponent that I'm taking on, and I'm willing to take it with both hands.
Back in Russia, who do you think all the fans there will be cheering for?
Man, I've got my Russian background, but born and raised in Australia, so it's not up to who they choose.
Thanks, Tim.
Jabin, you had a follow-up before we wrap up?
Yeah, just a quick one. Just on that Bakhram fight, Tim, is a victory enough for you, or is that all you want, just that belt, or do you want to go out there and show why you're still the king at 154?
Statement.
There you go. How bad do you want that? Is this a Carlos Ocampo statement, or is this a
if it's a Campo, even better.
We look forward to seeing it. Thank you.
Nice.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Tim, for your time.